Yes, you're right, Clarkson, yeah. Yeah. I love movies. When I first retired, I knew somebody that had been going. Boy, when I retired, over the years, there've been so many good.
But it's short though, but there used to be, they were 2 hours and people, I think part of it, they don't advertise it as much as they used to.
Well, and there's no paper book that you have to get online. It's all this online crap makes me crazy. You know, sometimes I have to just send me the brochure. I want to have a paper in my hand. And you don't do that anymore. And I get it. I mean, it saves the trees, it saves the, you know, it's easier for them because you're registered online. There's no paperwork they have to do. I get the ease of it. But there should be options.
Well, and that makes it challenging with classes because when we went to school, it was paper-based. We didn't have computers. So, yeah. So the first I'm thinking this semester, we had 2 books, which was most of the reading, so why not?
Well, then I won't be able to. I don't want to do that much screen time.
It depends on the class.
I have audited at GCC while I was living in Clarendon at the time, and it was just, well, neither one was halfway. Neither one were out. But I had somebody to audit with. Now she's moved. We rode together.
Did you take some classes there?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Because what I found is generally not the better when you understand class. Sometimes they like 22. And then you don't have much opportunity. You're by yourself, students are already involved. Sometimes it takes a few weeks. I walk in and go, hopefully you're not a teacher. Why are you here? What are you doing? And then I find out that I'm doing the same stuff with their
Right.
doing.
Yeah.
Gradually they.
Actually, that's the part I really enjoy is being with the students and their lives are different, similar, because, you know, I have a granddaughter in Montana. So, you know, if she won a class.
Especially if you're like a history class, they refer to other cultural references or so different. Sometimes the cultural differences are different.
Glad to be here.
You know, some professors.
So, they're gonna put a mic on you.
How do I unmute the mic? Is it just set?
Come
How
on
do I
in.
unmute the mic? Is it just set?
Yeah, the sun black box, so we'll be doing silent style.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, I mean, which
Yeah,
seat?
you can sit
Doesn't
wherever
matter.
you want.
Don't
Yeah.
matter to me.
You sit. What I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you snake this up your shirt.
You betcha.
We're gonna hang just like that.
Hey Jake, what's up? Doing okay?
Wonderful, just like that.
Aw.
And how would you prefer to do it? Would you like to clip this on the, yeah, clip it back to your pants and put it in your pocket just as long as the cord is hidden.
Cool.
Appreciate it, Robert. Thank you. Same as before.
Same as before. Is it on already?
It is on.
We'll wait a couple minutes and just.
Oh, I want to include these guys.
I know. Do you guys want to come on this side
Or-
so you can, or at least like,
or at least I
come
could-
down
we-
a little bit?
In the
Yeah.
international building. Yeah.
So we can look at you guys. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were new buildings. This was
Rob, I'm gonna go grab my phone so I can make sure we stay,
Yeah, how
on
long is the
time.
class?
so we took
Well, we're meant to be done at noon, so
Oh,
this is quick. Yeah, I'll be right back.
How you guys doing? It's hot in here. Is it always hot in here?
for the 4 years he was here.
Oh, that must be fun to perform.
Street. We still get in touch. He and his wife came up to 4 or 5 years ago. And we went to the picture of him and
Have any of you guys seen the show that I'm doing? So, couple. Hope you had fun.
we still keep in touch. We've been in New York
Silly.
City and met with him. And,
Good silly, hopefully. Yeah.
It's a great opportunity we have had.
How's it going, everybody? sit and stare at you.
We'll stare back.
Good, okay, yeah, yeah. I'm Rob.
Oh, that's my son's name. Good name.
All right. You know, Rob, I always was like, that's the verb to steal.
Yes.
And I was like, huh.
No, that you steal the hearts.
There you go. That's a positive way to look at it. I like that, yeah. I know that Ruth's going to interview me and everything, but I hope it can be a bit of a conversation so you guys aren't like falling asleep up there. Are you guys all theater majors? Were you forced here today? Oh no! Damn. We'll try and keep it somewhat entertaining. What are your majors?
Athletic training.
Nice. I'm a hockey player.
Okay.
Any hockey here?
There's a hockey team, yeah.
Hmm?
We have a hockey team.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Is it a divisional or a?
D3.
Right on. Oh, that's cool. Do you play?
I played in high school.
You did? Let me guess. You were a defenseman? Boom. Body type.
So somebody was there with you.
I don't know if there's any here.
Are you theater?
Yeah,
Cool. Right on. What year are you?
I'm a senior.
Oh my God.
Almost there.
Are you happy or terrified or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a first year after can be a big transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
Figure.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, great. And Elizabeth's coming, so I think she's trying to figure out parking or something.
Oh crap! But
So,
she
yeah.
gave me
She
her
gave you
parking
hers,
pass.
yeah, yeah. Jamie's gonna help her, so
Okay.
she'll be all right.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
She said no. This is better. I was like,
yeah, it's all good.
I
It's all
know.
good. Okay, all right, should we get started? Yeah. Okay. All right, hi everyone. I'm gonna use this microphone. It looks like it's a prop, but our live stream team tell me it's real, so I'm gonna trust them. So thanks, live streamers. All right, so this is our second theater talk of the semester. We're so happy you're here. And today our guest is Rob Johansen. Great. Rob is originally from New York. He made his acting career predominantly in the Midwest. Go Midwest. He has appeared in 56 productions at the Indiana Repertory Theatre, which is similar to Geva. Some highlights include The Clown in 39 Steps, The Mystery of Irma Vep, Grapes of Wrath, 12 years as Bob Cratchit in Christmas Carol, and last but not least, The Puppet in Little Shop of Horrors. Rob has also done 5 shows with Syracuse Stage, one with Geva a while ago. Yep. Rob and his wife Jen were both honored with the Lunt Fontaine 10 Chimney Fellowship in 2022. He also loves animals. And he especially works with dogs who have special needs to help them on the path to adoption. So Rob says, please consider adopting rather than buying from a breeder. All right, and Rob, the reason Rob is here today is because he is in The Play That Goes Wrong, which is currently on stage at Geva, and maybe some of you have been to see it. Yes, can you raise your hand if you've seen the show? Yeah. All right, great. Yeah. So I know some of our majors were there opening night. So, and some went last night or Tuesday? Wednesday. All right, it's been who knows what day of the week it is. All right, so I have some questions for Rob, but I also will make sure that you have time to ask him questions. So we'll jump right in. Okay, so Rob, tell us a little bit about the play. What's easy, what's hard?
Oh boy, the play that let me ask, I know a few of you have seen our production. Has anybody seen another production of it? Oh, you
Okay.
Where did you see it?
My high school down in Mexico, New York.
I love that, like when I read this play, it's basically a group of people And it's funny, I heard it described as like, well, it's a group of community theater actors. And I'm like, no, no, no. I don't want to give any group of actors a bad name. Because I've seen amazing community theater, and I've seen crappy professional theater, and vice versa, right? So it's a group of performers who probably won't perform a lot, but they have been given maybe some money to build a set, and they're like, we're gonna put on this amazing show, and perhaps the set was not put together very well. It's basically, let me ask you guys, you've seen live theater. Who's seen live theater? Just about everybody. Have you ever seen a show where something went wrong? Yeah. That's the beauty of theater, that it's a high wire act. Every time you're doing it, it's live, it's the first time, and there is the availability that something can go wrong. This show is kind of a celebration of that, where the audience gets to sit and watch just about every possible thing that could go wrong does. But the important thing is, and something that I think we found successfully in this production is, the actors are trying so hard to make it work. They are proud of this show, they want it to work, and oh yeah, that just fell. Fine, I cover. It's okay. Somebody missed an entrance, I cover. So the audience gets to watch us tap dance through problems, around problems, create joy out of problems, you know? And that's the beauty of this show. The challenge for me, when I first read this, I was like, is an audience gonna dig watching mistakes all night? And I'll tell you, my wife, this sounds like words, my wife saw this somewhere else, didn't enjoy it. One of the reasons is she's a performer, and she's like, I don't want to watch these awful mistakes all night. Then she saw our show, and she liked it a bit more. And she said, well, all right, I was watching my husband on stage. That's one thing. But one thing she said, you guys captured is the heart of these people going, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. So the audience is rooting for us amidst all the chaos. And I think you've got to combine those two things. The audience has got to be championing the people on stage. Then they enjoy it more. So.
Great. Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
And
Could,
we're out of time.
yeah. Thanks, everyone. Could you tell us a little bit about the character that you play, what it was like to play this character, and were you able to find a connection with the character?
I play a guy named Jonathan Harris. Now, the funny thing is, there is a real actor named Jonathan Harris. I'm old. There was a show called Lost in Space. Anybody ever hear of that? And there was an actor, this accomplished old actor. He played Dr. Smith, and he was overblown. He would, oh, the pain, oh dear, oh my goodness. I thought I was like, this must be who he's written for. It's not, it's a coincidence. But my character plays a guy who is dead. And you discover pretty quickly, he's not dead. Or he's trying real hard and people are like stepping on his hand and he's, you know. He's not dead, he's not doing a great job. Everybody in our cast decided we're gonna create a backstory. The audience never hears about this, but we were like, look at your character and decide what kind of fledgling actor are you? I decided I'm a retired lawyer who donates a lot of money to this little theater company. So they're always like, we gotta put him in a show. We've gotta cast him, he gives us money, you know, and I am pretty good at dying. And I can, once I get my lines, I know them really well. My problem is, I'm getting a little older, I'm not exactly sure when to enter. So if I hear something, I'm like, that's my line, and I go on 5 scenes early, you know. So I decided, you know, I'm strong in some ways, not strong in others. I can connect to that as a human.
Definitely. Yeah. I think you did a good job. Yeah. Can you talk a bit about why you wanted to do this show?
It's funny. So I've been a professional actor for, this cracks me up. I'm looking at the room and I'm like, I'm going to see how long I've been a professional actor, and you guys are going to go, I wasn't born. So my first professional show, I started grad school in 1992. And my first professional show at the Indiana Repertory Theater was 1996. So I've been doing it a long, long time. And it's funny, why did you want to be in the show? A lot of actors would say, well, I want a job. And that's the truth. However, specifically, I have honed my life. I was talking to this fine gentleman before we started. Before I was an actor, I was a hockey player. And I still love that sport. And I wanted to do that professionally. I didn't start acting till I was 19. And right when I had a professional tryout with the New Jersey Devils organization, I was a goalie, I learned that day on the ice, I don't know that I'm going to be a professional hockey player. I played really well, but the people around me were just amazing. A month later, I auditioned for my first show. And I got in the show, and that's a whole other story. Talk about the play that goes wrong. I've never been so terrified in my life, my first play. But acting to me has always been akin to a sport. I've always been a very physical actor because of my hockey background. So my whole life, I'm a fight choreographer, and I love physical theater, like the plant from Little Shop of Horrors. I do a lot of stunt work, even though I'm progressing in my life. I still do a lot of stunt work. So a show like this, I'll tell you, when they offered me this role, normally you get, here's the offer. The IRT said, we need you to check these boxes that you can complete these physical actions for insurance purposes. So you have to be able to basically do a lot of chin-ups, sustain your own body weight, be able to fall off platforms, swing from a rope, and I checked all those boxes. So this show appealed to me because I love physical theater. I could have just said that, but I went on a 5-minute
No, that's
time.
so I think it's interesting that you went from hockey to acting, and I think there's a lot of overlap between athletics and the arts, but in particular in theater. So I'm intrigued that you said that, but I do want to know which NHL team you root for.
Oh boy, I'm in Sabres land, and I
It's okay. It's a safe space.
Okay, I was born in Peekskill, New York, which is very near the city. And my whole family have been Ranger fans. I still remember watching my first game when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
On this black and white screen.
Yeah.
And for the first 5 minutes, my brother Rich was like, "This is hockey, right?" And I was like, looking at it, I was like, "That what? With sticks?" And what? And I was like, "How are they gliding?" And he said, "They're skating." And my mind went, I was like, "They're doing that on ice." So I'm a Rangers
Okay.
fan.
Yeah.
And
go
I
ahead.
do want to say also, for any theater person who doesn't like sports, great. But for me, one really helped the other. I always tell people, who cares if you don't like sports, but move your body. Find the ways that you enjoy being physical. It really helps your thing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And we can talk more sports later. Okay, so this production, for those of you that don't know, started, and you did a full run at the Indiana Rep, and then it came here to Rochester, and you're doing a full run here. So have you done that before, where you've done the exact same show at multiple theaters? And what's that like?
Yes, I've done co-productions, mostly IRT going to Syracuse stage. I did IRT to Pioneer in Utah. IRT to Seattle. And I've done a couple that started in Syracuse and then went to IRT. It's really cool to be able to share it with different cities. Sometimes you almost feel like there's a different audience dynamic in a different city. There are some theater communities that are like, no matter what the show is, at the end of the night, everyone's like, amazing, like a standing O every night. And then there's some communities, you do an amazing show and they're like, I've done one standing O in my whole life, and that's it, you know. But audiences aren't that disparate. But I will say, tough thing for actors, some people love going on the road. Some people are challenged. I tend to get very homesick. But there are some, you know, you guys who are going into this profession, I know some actors who don't have a home address. They just travel. And some people love it. I'm a little like heartsick for those guys, but hopefully they love it. An important thing for me when I go to a community, I try to immerse myself. I like to be busy, I like to be active, so I'm really lucky. I've been a dog trainer for 14 years, and the last 3 road shows I did a little work before I left Indianapolis, and I got acquainted with a shelter, and I worked with dogs while I was on the road, and that makes all the difference in the world. Hopefully you all love dogs. And cats. Cats are awesome too. But so yeah, when I'm not on stage, I join a gym and work with dogs and having a full life. I don't want to just sit in a little apartment. You know, you got to keep active. Yeah.
So what have you enjoyed in Rochester so far, other than the dogs?
Other than no, the people are wonderful. The crew at Geva are so friendly and wonderful. The housing is wonderful because it's literally a 1-minute walk from the housing to the theater. I did a show here. It wasn't so long ago that I had hair, but it was 20 years ago. I did Camelot, and the housing was different. So I always love when theaters take pains to make sure that actors are comfortable. So I've gotten to know, made friends at the theater. Oh my gosh. Also, Indianapolis is lovely. It's where I call home, and I can tell you why I decided that was going to be my home, was when I was playing Bob Cratchit. But Indianapolis is a little flat and boring. So being here, I'm celebrating the countryside that you guys have. I found a place to run. Turning Point Park. You park there, and I was just looking around. I had my running stuff. I parked there, and I started running left, and I'm running along the river, and I didn't realize I was going to run into Lake Ontario. I got a little teary. It was really beautiful. So that was one. Yeah. And this is another, as you can tell, I like to talk. Every time I run out onto the pier, you get to run for like a quarter. Have anybody ever walked that, run that? When you go out onto the pier? So I go there and I take like a little water break and I meet somebody. And I have the nicest like 2-minute talk. And it's just lovely. And I run away feeling like I'm away from home, but humans are humans, and it's just nice to connect to people.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there. Really so I'm going to just jump ahead a little bit. Oh, no, it's great. So how about this? What advice do you have for students who are interested in going into the arts?
And I want to, anybody who wants to talk, and if you guys are coming to the show, let me know, and I'll stick around in the lobby after and we'll talk. There is no one right path. There are going to be a lot of folks who go, I got to go to New York City. That's fine. I got to go to a major market. Great. What I would say, and listen to your heart, listen to your gut. You're going to have a lot of like, is that right? Is this right? Is that right? For me, even though I grew up right outside of New York City, something about going into New York and trying to make it in that environment did not speak to me. My parents were like, you gotta do this, and I was like, it doesn't feel right. I tried after, I went to a very small undergrad, Wilkes University in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. 7 theater majors when I started. The cool thing was you got to do everything. I remember being a lead in a show and master carpenter, great. But the first year out of college, we were talking about that, like, it's scary, and there's a lot of, I'll try this, I don't know, I'll try this, I don't know. Find the things that give you joy. I have tried to not do a lot of temp work. I'm really lucky. It's been almost 30 years that I've done, everything I do is theater related. And when I say that, I teach yoga. I take a lot of yoga, but I teach it. I teach Tai Chi. I teach acting and directing at universities. And dogs, I gotta tell you, that informs my art so much. I've played Scrooge for the last 5 years, or 4 years going into my 5th. There's no way I could have found the character of Scrooge without my work with dogs. That's a whole other story. But find the things that give you joy, that are one step away from theater, but that feed your art. I think folks that just do theater, I feel like you need life to help inform what you do. So find a bounty of things you can do that will help you when you're not on stage. Yeah.
I just would like to ask a follow-up question to that. So, like you said, the traditional advice that's given to young people starting out is go to a big city, go to New York if you're interested in theater, maybe go to LA, maybe Chicago. And it used to be the case that if you went to a city like Minneapolis or Indiana and you were able to work with a theater company there, you could get steady work. So it seems like that you're an exception to that rule, and you've been able to make a really rich theater life for yourself in Indianapolis. Is there something unique about the theater scene there that has allowed you to stay connected? I went to grad school in Minneapolis, and there used to be an acting company in Minneapolis that worked at the theater there. And while I was there, that essentially dissolved, that permanent company. So I'm just curious about that.
It's funny, one thing that appealed to me about Indiana, when I graduated from undergrad, I did something called URDAs. You guys know them? The Unified Regional Theater Auditions, where you can go, I was like, wait a minute, there are grad schools that will pay you to go to grad school? And I was like, that sounds like fun. And I also, when I graduated from undergrad, I didn't know or think that I could make a living doing this. I thought, I'm having fun in college, and then I have to get a real job. And then I found grad school. I was like, oh, I can do this for 3 more years. When I got offers from Rutgers, Penn State, and IU. And a lot of people were like, oh, Rutgers, whoa, Penn State, and IU was kind of an afterthought. I interviewed with all 3 schools, and my gut told me, you're gonna flourish at IU. My gut told me, and no disrespect, my feeling was I will be a number at Rutgers. I didn't feel like I would flourish there. That's different for everybody, but for me, I thought, IU, I'll make a difference, I will have an impact. Graduated from there, I went to Chicago briefly. I did a tour, a non-equity tour, and while I was on tour, I got cast in my first show at IRT, the Indiana Repertory Theater. And something about the size of that city, I was like, I'm gonna make an impact here, just like IU. There weren't a lot of splinter groups like you're talking about in Minneapolis. So I got in kind of on the grassroots of, there's a few there were a handful of people that made their living full-time as actors there. Well, I became, I think I had been there 4 years, and me and 5 other professionals started a small theater company called Shadowing. And it was the first thing like that in Indianapolis, and people were really jazzed by it. And that, now, we fast forward 20 years later, 25 years later, there's a lot of groups like that. So for me, I felt like I'm starting something in a city, and that was important to me. Yeah, so that's why I flourished there. Yeah, yeah.
Great. I'm wondering if we could take some questions from, so what questions do you all have for Rob? You can ask him anything about sports, hockey, dogs, art, theater. So don't be shy, or this particular show, if you want to ask about physical comedy, how he got started, if he has an agent. Yes, Tristan. Oh, I think I have to give you this, Tristan. So.
All right, so I definitely want to do professional theater at some point. On a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is it to like get started with that?
It can be up there for sure. I think it can be daunting. How do you start? You know, and you just do. You know, it used to be get monologues. Okay, what I would say is, do you know where you want to go after? What year are you?
I'm a freshman here.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. This is great. You know, I think college is still one of my favorite. When I was at Wilkes, when I was at IU, I loved every minute of it. You have an opportunity here, so immerse yourself. Hopefully there's a lot of opportunities for people here. Just do as much as you can. Don't say yes to everything, so you're up rehearsing at 2 a.m. But immerse yourself in everything here. The nice thing is, boy, you've got Aglet 4, it took me 5 years, but you got a lot of opportunity here. So it's great. You've got all of this time, and also start to figure out what branch of theater you like. Are you an actor? Are you a director? Are you both? Are you a dramaturg? You know, you've got all this availability to you. So the cool thing is, you don't have to worry about the professional world for a while.
Yeah.
But I will say also, Tristan, you've got this great theater right down the road. So all you guys, develop a relationship with them, even if it's just going to see a show and seeing, can I talk to actors? Can I talk to directors? You know, the tricky thing with theater, I think, is I've got to sell myself. You know, do the work, and that sells you. You don't have to be a spunky show kid. You know, just work hard and find something you enjoy, and people understand that. You don't. That's how you sell yourself, by just doing. You know?
Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes. Okay. All right. I'll go this way. Let's say your name. Oh.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I was just wondering, like, how you first got into acting, like, what made you get into it, and then once you realized you wanted to do it, what was life like while trying to pursue something that was new to you?
That's an awesome question. Wow, that's a good question. So
Good.
it's funny, and I wonder if you guys have this, the performers in the room. First time you did the show, a show, or leading up to an opening of every show you do, is there some fear? Yeah. So again, I was a hockey player, and I had done like little school plays in like 4th grade, but teeny things, you know. And I auditioned for a show, my first show when I was 19. And anybody know a playwright named August Strindberg? You may not. A few nods. Anybody that knows this playwright, I have friends that go, wait a minute, your first play was an August Strindberg play and you kept acting? Because it's hard stuff. Anyway, I auditioned for this show. There's one male identifying role in this show. It's called Miss Julie. I auditioned for the show because the director was my acting teacher. I had missed some classes, and he was like, hey, anybody that auditions for the show gets extra credit. So I was like, I'll audition. He cast me. And I was like, I went to his office, I was like, are you much like this. I hadn't slept for days. I am terrified. I threw up. I was like really, really terrified. And I'll never forget my first motion on stage. I had to come on with boots that I was cleaning, and I had to walk up right near the front row, and I'm putting them down, and my whole family is there, and a woman has her legs crossed just like you, and I go to put the boots down. She uncrosses her legs, knocks the boots out of my hand, and I go like this. 30 seconds, and I was terrified, and I was like, no lines, no nothing. But the cool thing was, my acting partner helped me. I got through, I think the first scene is like 2 minutes long, and I was like vomiting lines. Miss Julie's crazy tonight, absolutely crazy. It was like that. I went off stage and I collapsed. There was a costumer, can't remember this person's name, but she was like, hey, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're okay. Have a drink of water, and you're gonna go back out. And I was like, nope, nope. She's like, yes, what's your first line? And I said it. She goes, yeah. Now, and then what's your next line? She like saved my life, and I went out. I started out terrified, and then during the night, I was like, I got a few laughs. And all of a sudden, I was like, feeling more a part of the story, and by the end of the night, I felt like I had climbed Mount Everest. Now, was that the best performance? No. But conquering that fear, and then starting to feel like I'm actually creating, wow, I've never, I mean, that was really thrilling. So part of acting, I think, is getting over that fear and then flying, you know? Because you guys who are performers, or you guys who just love to come to theater, no, there's really nothing like this. Watching it and doing it, it's like you're flying, you know? So that's what started me on the path, and there's always a little part of me, I might have been telling Elizabeth or somebody at Geva the other, I was like, I still get that every once in a while, because I'm like, what am I doing? But then I'm realizing, I'm like, wow, telling a story, and it's live. It's, you know, we're all breathing in the room together. There's nothing like it, you know. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I think there was a question back here. Do you want to pass that back?
Okay, so for the play that goes wrong, it's a play that has to go wrong correctly. So I've always been curious how like the rehearsal process is for a show like this.
Great question. It's a turducken, you know, because you've got to be masterful at creating mistakes. And then masterful at going, we're trying to get past these mistakes. We actually had a show last night where some gremlins visited us, where the mistakes went wrong. It was, there's a bit where I'm supposed to, I don't want to give too much away, but like there's a bit where I'm supposed to get carried off on a stretcher, and it doesn't work out. Well, last night, stretcher didn't break. It partially broke. It's supposed to be, I'm gonna give one bit away, you guys. So I'm on the floor, they roll me onto a stretcher, and they pick it up, and the poles come with them, but the fabric stays under, and you hear this, and it's real funny. Well, last night, Claire, I think, hers didn't rip. So I went halfway up, and then she kind of went like, and then it ripped and I went down. But the cloth got stuck under me, so the next bit didn't work. So it's real tricky. And the precision of the mistakes has to be really crystal clear. Yeah. So it is weird, and the trap of this show is letting it just be about the bits and not the attempt to get past the bit. Yeah. So I think we're always working on two things: find the precision of a bit, but remember the humanity of the, oh crap, we gotta get past this. Yeah. So like, the show opens with me falling, and there's something that I pride myself on, like, and when I teach people, I should be able to teach people how to fall so they could do it 20 times and not have bruises, you know? So it's finding that, the repetition and keeping it safe, yeah.
Great. Any other questions that you might have?
I have a question.
Oh, great, yeah.
You mentioned playing Bob Cratchit and Scrooge. One of the internship opportunities we have at Geva is to be in the ensemble Christmas Carol. And I know Christmas Carol's been so important to you in Indiana. I wonder if you could talk about what's so special about Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, honestly, you guys, so I'm from New York, but my first big role at the Indiana Repertory Theater was Bob Cratchit. They were going to cast me in another show that Abe Lincoln in Illinois, that hit. I had a small role in that, and then the head of the theater, Janet Allen, called me and said, hey, I'm thinking of moving you out of Abe Lincoln in Illinois. And at first I was like, oh no, I'm going to lose my part. He goes, no, I want to move you into Christmas Carol, and I was thinking of you from Bob Cratchit. This was not probably the most professional thing for me to say, but what came out of my mouth is, I love you. And she laughed and she said, does that mean you'll take the part? I said, yeah. So I've always been a sucker for Christmas Carol. I think it's a necessary story. For some reason, I think the world just needs it more and more every year. I was in the middle of the run of Christmas Carol in Indiana. I was standing on stage in the middle of a scene, and I decided, this is my home. Because I felt I had 600 people coming every night watching this, and I felt this vibe of like, I'm celebrating this holiday and this story with a whole city. And I miss my family, but I still see them all the time, but I decided this is my home. It's interesting, an actor's life. You lose a little something by celebrating, by being on stage through the holidays. I don't know if you guys run past Christmas. Yeah, so it's a different kind of celebration, but it's wonderful. There's a magic to it, like I've never known, celebrating a holiday like that through doing something that you love. One of my favorite things is building up to telling that story on Christmas Eve, where you get to you're standing on stage going, and of all the days of the year, on Christmas Eve, it's one thing to tell that to be on stage, you know, November 15th, but on December 24th, when you're saying that, there's so much magic. So it's a really magical thing, and it made me call Indianapolis home. And I played Cratchit 12 years, and then Scrooge 4 years. So I would say, if you want to be a performer and you have the chance, that could be a wonderful avenue. I know one of our understudies right now, Sophia, she did the understudy track for Belle, and great story, terrifying story. I think it was opening night that Belle got sick. She went on for 2 weeks, and she saved the show. She was ready. I don't even think they had the understudy rehearsals normally start like right after you open a show. So I don't know, but she had done her homework. So she was ready to go on. I would say to you guys, if you have an opportunity, go after it. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions? I'm just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what you're going to do after this production. Do you know what your next job is?
I'm really lucky. This is another thing too. Through my whole life, you know, the crazy thing about acting, you are always looking for a job, right? So my friends who have normal jobs, they've like changed jobs once every 20 years or something. I'm not changing what I do, but a normal contract like this Geva contract is 7-8 weeks long. Most contracts are about between 8 and 10. those in like, what's 3 months from now? That can be like, oh gosh, what's going on? So I'm very lucky. I have 10 days between this show and when I start playing Scrooge. During those 10 days, I'm doing an original play reading in Terre Haute, Indiana. I'm making a whopping $300 for that over 3 days. That's all right. And then I start up with Scrooge. Then I have 2 weeks off. And then I have a fight choreography gig at Purdue University. And then I direct a show at a really beautiful small college called Franklin College, which reminds me of my other guy. So you see, it's juggling. It's juggling. So if you want to be an actor, great. If you want to be a director, great. Find the things that will fill your plate when you're not just doing that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Please join me in thanking Rob for being here today. And we appreciate you. And please, everyone, make sure you go and see the show at Geva. You can get student rush tickets the day of, okay? If you're a theater major, you get free tickets. And if there's some other barrier that you have to seeing the show, let me know, and I'll see what we can do, okay?
What is Silent Sky?
Opens October 2nd. So everyone here will see that show, yeah.
I don't know if there's a show that I can see. I love that.
We have a Saturday matinee, if, I don't know if that would
We do
work with,
too.
yeah, okay.
We'll talk.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Rob. Thanks, everyone, for being a great audience.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.